and welcome to this edition of the Word of Power. I am your host, Apostle Dr. Marino, here for this video blog, and today I'm answering the question, what happens when we make a promise? I think that this is an important question to answer because I keep meeting people who break them like it's nothing, like they're just not even considering the ramifications of doing such. In Old Testament times and New Testament times alike, we would have called what they do when we make a promise, we would call it making a vow. And what happens when somebody makes a vow is, in other words, it's kind of like a little covenant. They're bound by it. But today we don't think twice about breaking promises, and we don't think twice about not honoring the things that we say. In a church that's so obsessed with words, we always hear about words and word faith and that our words have power and things to that extent. It's funny how we don't consider the power of honoring our word and also of breaking our word. Not all that long ago, I dealt with somebody who over a year ago made a pledge to give to my ministry, and he insisted that God told him to do it. I didn't ask him to do it. I didn't hint that I needed it done. I didn't give any sort of indication of the thing. But he said that God told him to do it. And then a few months later, he came back and he said he didn't forget he was going to give a certain amount. Well, that next month came, the month after that came, the month after that came, and so on and so forth. And he never, ever followed through on it. And then to make matters worse, when different things would come up, he would insist that he couldn't give me any money. All he could do was pray. In other words, he was trying to make it sound like I was greedy when I was pointing out that he was the one who didn't follow through on his own promise. Well, the issue was never about money. It was about trust, and it was about promise. But the fact was that he made a vow and he wasn't accountable for it. And what does the Bible say about such? Well, we're going to read in Ecclesiastes chapter 5, NIV version. We're going to start in verse 2. Do not be quick with your mouth. Do not be hasty in your heart to utter anything before God. God is in heaven and you are on earth, so let your words be few. As a dream comes when there are many cares, so the speech of a fool when there are many words. When you make a vow to God, do not delay in fulfilling it. He has no pleasure in fools. Fulfill your vow. It is better not to vow than to make a vow and not fulfill it. Do not let your mouth lead you into sin, and do not protest to the temple messenger, my vow was a mistake. Why should God be angry at what you say and destroy the work of your hands? Much dreaming and many words are meaningless. Therefore, stand in awe of God. Even though this is written in more complicated language, although I think it's pretty plain in the way that it's understood in the NIV, what they're basically trying to tell us is it's better not to make a promise if you're not going to follow through on it than it is to make it and break it. You know, there are many very good ministries out there today. Sometimes I take issue with the fact that opportunities come up and we can't take them because we don't have money, and then people come along and say, oh, well, it must be God's will. I don't believe that. It's not God's will. It's people breaking their vow. It's people not esteeming the work of God highly enough in order to support it, because God has told us to support the work of God. But more relevantly, in terms of what we're talking about, if you make a vow to give somebody something, whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's support, whether it's being up behind them, whether it's even prayer, because we have an issue with that today. Oh, I'll pray for you means no, you won't. If you're not following your vow, then it's better that you had never made it, and you do not have the right to go to the person that you made the vow before and tell them, oh, I shouldn't have done it. No, what you should have done was think more carefully before you spoke and not promise to do something that you had no intention of following through on. So this is what I'm going to say. If you make a vow, you better make sure that you follow through on it. You better make sure that before you open your mouth, you can follow through and commit to that thing. And if you don't, you have to not only be accountable before that person, you need to be accountable before God. In the last days in the New Testament, it says that people's consciences would be seared with a hot iron. And we use that to mean all sorts of things today, to refer to the latest fads and the latest things in culture. But I believe that this is what it's talking about, that we don't even give any thought or consideration to breaking our promise, and it makes our own words null and void. So what makes us think that if we can't keep our own word, that if we put the word of God on our mouths, that God should honor that within us, or that it has any power or anything to do with us at all? anytime we don't follow through on what we speak, we make what we say void. And so that means take what you say seriously and take the promises that you make seriously, lest God deal with you and you find yourself in a place where it was better not to make a promise at all. I thank you for watching this video blog today. Do you have a comment or a question, something you would like me to answer? If so, please visit my website at www.power4today.org and also send me an email at questions@power4today.org. Also, if you're in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, be sure to visit the website that shall be up soon, www.welcomeinthisplace.org, to learn more about the work of sanctuary right in your own backyard. This is Apostle Dr. Leanne Marino saying thank you for watching, and until next time, be blessed.